Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today I'm discussing 3.24, which just hit EVO, and I've already had some game time with it, and I gotta say, it's pretty phenomenal outside of, of course, the bugs and stuff that are going on right now. There's been a couple, server deadlocks, and it's 30K'd a few times. Server recovery is working a lot, but there's also been a couple bigger crashes that completely just wiped the server, and it didn't even it just straight 30K'd. It didn't even recover. So that's really been the biggest issues so far. Otherwise, there's a couple smaller issues going about. That's pretty typical in any update, like elevators not appearing, and not like the ship elevators, but just your normal elevators that would take you to like a hangar or something. Like I went to Seraphim and I called an elevator once I landed, and it opened the doors, and it was literally just like the elevator shaft, no elevator. So they're having some of these bugs, of course, typical with any patch. So hopefully those will be pretty quick fixes, and they can get this out to the PTU. Now let me go over my thoughts on it so far. I've actually had some time. I've called a few ships. I've called a couple ground vehicles from my personal hangar, and you get a personal hangar or an instance hangar every time you call one. Like at your home location, it's your personal own hangar that you can decorate. But if you go to like Seraphim, it's an instance hangar still, so it's still your hangar. It's still named your hangar. Like when you call it on the way there and you're wanting to land in a hangar, it's actually going to be your hangar. So that's changed based on the video that they released a couple months back. Now, every time you call hangar, it's your hangar. Now, it's not a personalized hangar. That's only at your home location, but you do get an instance hangar for yourself, like at a station, which is really nice, because then you can land and kind of take your time. You don't have to, rush about or anything, especially since you might be unloading cargo and stuff. And so far, calling ships has been probably like the coolest experience I've had in a long time in Star Citizen, which is so weird to say because you're just, spawning your ship. It's a short-lived but very cool experience because you call it, like on an ASOP terminal, you can either do that from your normal location that you would, or you just go straight to the elevator and just choose your hangar. You don't have to call a ship. You just choose your hangar. You go there, and then there's, ASOP terminals in the hangar, and you call a ship. Now, when you call a ship, literally the lights go dim. There's red strobes, nothing like that can cause you a seizure or anything if you're having any sort of disabilities like that. So no worries there. It's very smooth. And then you also get like an alarm sound, and that holographic wall comes up around the hangar area. You can totally walk through and just fall through and fall into your, the hangar area down there. I don't think that's advisable, but you can. It's just really cool. They did really good with the atmospherics with that. I think it's pretty phenomenal, and it sounded great. It looked great. The lighting was really cool, and I think that was like a really great first impression to me. There's going to be some people that probably find it really annoying every time they call something to have to listen to that alarm or something. Maybe on the ASOP terminal in the future, they can have like a mute option, like a little checkbox that says mute, warning audio. That would be kind of nice, just because you don't always have to, you don't always have to have that, but it's good to have if you have any people in your hangar and they don't know you're calling a ship. They'll get a really quick idea once everything starts going like, hey, we're going to call this ship. So I thought it was really cool. A lot of the terminals, like their graphics have completely changed on a lot of the terminals. They're obviously really pushing everything to the building blocks, finally getting a lot of these terminals set up that way. And it looks great. Like the new gear storage and how that works, that is the first thing I tested. I literally got out of my bed. I went to the gear terminal and was like, does this work? And it does. You go there, you have obviously the two screens, one left, one right on the main screen, and you just choose the items you want. It goes to the left side of the screen, and then you'd hit send to the drawer. Now, once you do that, it doesn't like appear physically in front of you. It just opens up your context menu like it would prior, like the I menu, and you can swap it over to your character. Now, I personally think it's awesome. The new gear system looks great. It's lacking a search function, and it seems a little bit laggy at times, but I think that's just because they're smoothing it out, right? That'll probably get better. Otherwise, though, I think it's fantastic. It looks great. The UI looks, phenomenal. They just got to add some functionality to it, like the search, and maybe just fix up some of the bugs on it, like when you're filtering it. Sometimes it doesn't do the check boxes on the filters, and you don't know what you're doing, like where you're kind of picking. So otherwise, though, it worked great. I was able to get my stuff very quick. I grabbed my whole armor set, my gun, my tractor beam, my medical tool within about 30 seconds to a minute. It wasn't that bad at all, actually. It felt great, and it really kind of slows down your experience, I feel like, but not in a bad way. It kind of makes you feel a little bit more connected to the game, instead of just running around with your iMenu open or whatever and just dragging and dropping, and it doesn't feel as arcadey now. Because prior it was pretty arcadey, and you could try to argue that, but it's just what it was. It was very arcadey with the fact that you could just press I and have this imaginary menu and swap your gear out with this imaginary storage system. Right now feels a little bit more connected. That's going to be hit and miss with some people. Obviously, some people just like the ease of the I menu. I think it was trash, but whatever. To each their own, right? It's all a personal opinion. But it just so you know, it does feel great. It's pretty smooth. Some bugs, some functionality that they need to add. Otherwise, fantastic. That was a great job on that. Every time I've gone to a little outpost, the game's 30K'd, so I wasn't sure too much. I checked out the UI. It looks great, for cargo and stuff. It looks phenomenal, and it's going to be a really interesting experience. You can choose to either have it manually loaded by you or to have it loaded automatically, just taking time, which is fantastic. It's great that they have both options, so people with the Anvil Carrack won't be completely left out, which is great. Ships that don't have the ability to really physically load it yourself without being a real pain or just completely impossible, because the Carrack, you only have access through that front door. So good luck loading, a 32 SCU box through that door or whatnot, right? So you can actually just do an auto load. It'll take, the appropriate amount of time. It's not instant anymore. You actually have a load timer. And again, that's something that allows you to kind of, you set what you want, you put the automatic load, and then you go walk around, you explore, you go get your food, you go get your ammo, you go and talk to your buddies. You get a little bit more involved in the game outside of just, 1, 2, 3, getting and going. I get it. Trust me, I don't have much time every night either to play any games, really. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I have a full-time job, and I try to do this, because I love making the videos. And so I only get a little bit of time every night, but I still think it just feels great being more connected to the video game, as games today are so brainless. You get in, you press play, and then you shoot somebody constantly over and over again, or, it's just so, ugh. And I think that's why games like Farm Simulator and like that are really kicking off, is because it's it can get really relaxing, but you're kind of connected to what you're playing, right? And even more so in future iterations, it looks like. So I think it's fantastic, and I can't wait to really dive deep into the cargo functions of this update. Outside of that, I do want to, say I'm going to continue exploring this update, but I do want to say so far I have noticed one big thing that's changed. So when you go to a planet and you can go to Bountiful Harvest on Daymar, and you would typically just go to a computer screen on the inside of the building, choose the cargo you want, and it would load into your ship automatically. I landed there, and a few people landed at other places that were like that with no landing pads, right? And it's completely, you can't do cargo anymore there. They've taken that functionality away because there's no pads, so they don't have a freight elevator, and there's no way to get cargo. So I don't know if that's temporary or not. I asked a few people with CIG the questions while on the server with them, and they didn't respond. So that's probably something they're working on. Maybe they just have to concept art and really go through a process of how they want to do outposts like that. But at this point, any outpost that didn't have a landing pad, like Shubin Mining or Arc, Mining, any of those have pads, so they have the freight elevators. The ones that don't, you can't get cargo at anymore. So that's going to take away a lot of cargo options out in the verse. I don't know if that's temporary. I don't know if that's a bug and that's just, maybe the freight elevator wasn't appearing or something. It didn't look like there was space for it. Maybe that's something they'll figure out in the future. But as of right now, that looks to be completely gone. So that is going to take away some cargo options. Hopefully that'll come back in the future, or they're going to add just different ways to do cargo. Outside of that, It feels great. You know, there's obviously the server crashes and a few bugs here and there with certain, you know, UI elements, but otherwise it feels really great. When I call the ship coming up into the hangar and the floor rose up and there was no ship on it, it wasn't like the ship just magically appeared. The floor actually retracted back down and closed and then reopened, and the ship was down there and brought back up, and it was very smooth. It felt great. So I think they just need to find a way to make it to where it doesn't go up without a ship and it just stays closed until that ship spawns. I think that's probably what they're trying to go for, but you know, obviously work in progress. But it still it still felt really smooth, and it, you know, looked fantastic. There was no magic appearing of a ship, so that was great. That's pretty much all I have for right now. It's really awesome. Let me know if you guys have any questions in regards to 3.24, you know, hangars, the freight elevators, any of the new updates they have to any of this stuff, and I will do my best to answer that for you, just like prior when 3.23 was in, you know, EVO and all that. I'm going to do my best for you guys. I really appreciate your time watching this video. I know in the background there's nothing to do with 3.24. I obviously can't show any video or, you know, screenshots or audio from the new update, but I can talk about it. So let me know what you guys, you know, think of what I talked about, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. You guys are all awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one.